Delighted to be joined once again by our expert, some say, Tony Gale, and Todd Carthy, of course, dancing on ice. We'll talk about that in a second. The Bill, EastEnders, Grey and Chill. You're a West Ham fan, beside one of your former players.
Indeed.
Not a hero,
No.
but a
He
former
used to
player.
like the strikers. He was a McAvenny and Cotty man.
Oh, those were the days. We had the rock at the back.
You had the rock at the back. I'm telling you, he's a big rock.
Big
all right.
rock now, yeah.
Obviously,
Looking at West Ham, they're going reasonably well under Zola. Started off a bit not great, went on a great run, 8 games unbeaten, as you just said. And looking at this game on Sunday against Manchester City, 2 clubs, not a lot between them. They're 7-5 for the home win. Could we tempt you with some of your cash?
I'd put a few quid on that. I think we've had a glitch of a couple of bad games. I think the Manchester United game, you know, where Giggsy scored 1, I think it took the wind out of our sails ever so slightly. But you know, he's that little Italian genius. If he gets us, if we just need to get really good at home, maybe we need a little bit of bully beef as well as the Italian pasta. Do you know what I mean? Just to knuckle down and start maybe using the wings a little bit more, all that kind of thing. But I'd take 7-5 on that. Yeah.
I mean, Tony, they do play lovely football, West Ham. There's no doubt about that. Of course, it's coming from an absolute genius of a player, Zola. You're not so confident about this Sunday's game at Upton Park.
The confidence is that City are a decent side. They're Jekyll and Hyde, aren't they? One week they're brilliant, next week not so good. You know, and that's the problem that Hughesy's got with them. Like integrating the individual brilliance of the Alanos, the Robinhos, the Bellamys with the lesser players, and maybe getting that little bit of resilience as well. West Ham, we got a similar problem really. We're playing a lot of good football, but we should be mixing it up a little bit more for me. We got big Colton Cole up front. You know, you have played young Freddie Sears at Middlesbrough, but we never really played into Colton enough to change the game up. We played all through the middle, and it was about 6 or 7 passes before we got to Colton and Freddie, by which time Borough were well behind the ball. So they've got to mix the game up a little bit, West Ham, but they're learning all the time. And, you know, as Todd said there, when he's come down, Zola, and Stevie Clark as well, we've got to give a lot of credit to. You know, they've got them playing some good football, so we can't be moaning.
No, you can't be too disheartened at present time. Your bet of the weekend, Tony, looking at this weekend's Premiership fixtures.
Tough, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of jollies, Leon, as we were saying earlier, we were talking earlier, but I always like to go for a little bit of an outside bet. Not too much of the outsiders here, because I think I like to go for a bit of value. I know what you're like. You're an Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea man. Go for the certainties, which have let us down a lot this season.
They have this year, definitely.
But I'm going to go for Blackburn at Hull, because I fancy Sam over Phil Brown, and I'm going to go for Bolton. I know you fancy them as well, over Newcastle, which pays 4-1 for the double.
Yeah, it's a very good double. Blackburn 6-4, which I disagree with you. I don't think they'll get all 3 points. But Bolton at even money, I think a lot of people will be looking at that. Todd, the fixtures are in front of you there. If you were to have a bet this weekend, can I tempt you away from West Ham?
Well, the double that you just said there, I mean, I can't remember what odds you said you gave me, but Blackburn to beat Hull and you said Bolton to do Newcastle. Yeah. That sounds like a good little money maker, so I'd go with a cash point now.
Well, that's 4-1.
We're both going to be skinned off.
Our shirts are in the dry cleaners already, aren't they?
And if I can switch your attention to what you have done just previously, dancing on ice. A lot of credit to you. It's not easy.
Thank you.
It's not easy.
Brave
boy, yeah, absolutely. It must have been tough watching the likes of Ray Quinn, because that kid looks as if he's been a skater his whole life.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did some rollerblading and all that kind of things. What he essentially has, he's very natural on the ice. He bends his knees, he's a dancer, he has all those attributes that, you know, make it a lot easier. For me, you know, I'm like a stiff from one of those, you know, Hammer horror movies like The Mummy, and I don't find it very natural to do. But he sort of makes his boots talk. I mean, we just sit there agog watching him. Do you know what I mean? He's got youth on his side, so.
I mean, he's the bookie's overwhelming favourite. He's 4-1 on.
Yeah.
So it'd be an absolute major surprise if he didn't win it. But Jessica Taylor, I believe, the wife of Kevin Peterson, she put in a fantastic performance last weekend. If you were to pick someone outside of the favourite, who do you think has the A, ability to progress, and B, actually get better week on week? Because I think that's what the judges are looking for, is a progression week on week.
Well, the programme's a mixed bag, isn't it? It's about fantastic skaters who are absolute rubbish, we won't mention any names, and you know, skaters who progress well. I think Ray is definitely a favourite with the bookies, and Jessica's proved last night that it is actually an entertainment show where the public get involved.
Yeah.
You know, we always knew once she got into the skate off that she would beat Melinda, and I think you could see in Melinda's body language that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think there's people going on that word journey that is overused. But if we have to use it, because that's what I think, Donal.
Okay.
Donald McIntyre has come on from leaps and bounds. He was as bad as I was when I started, but he progressed fantastically.
He weren't that bad.
and Roxy as well has come on leaps and bounds.
Roxanne Pallett, is it?
Yes, Roxanne Pallett. So will be my two outside bets if everything went pear-shaped for the other two. And I think Colleen is a great popular vote as well. But it'll be interesting to see how far Donald goes, because he just lives on the ice. I think he has his breakfast, dinner, and tea on the ice. He really practices all the time. And Roxanne's, she's just got that je ne sais quoi about her.
Yeah, she certainly has that.
And she's rather good looking too.
If we were looking at the Champions League, Tony, we've seen now the last 16 teams all take their part.
Yeah.
One thing that's certainly coming to the fore is the English Premier League is miles above every other league by far. Put your neck on the block. Who's going to win it this year?
Man United. Man United again, and I'll tell you what, Leon, I don't know what they are to do the clean sweep, but they're getting very, very close to it. They're just picking these games off one at a time. I think it's a Carthy
Do you really
Cup.
think, Tony, they can win all four?
I'll tell you what, well, it's going to be, obviously, you lose one game and you don't win all four, so the odds are against it. But if you just take in one game at a time, there's a Carling Cup coming up first this weekend. I think they'll beat Spurs, and all of a sudden, you just get on that little bit of a roll towards the end of the season, and they're looking like they know they can't be beaten at the moment. And I tell you what, best manager, far and away. I mean, Mourinho's done a lot of talking this week, but Fergie's the governor for me.
Okay, and Todd, just a quick question for yourself. Champions League, 4 English clubs look to have a realistic chance of getting into the quarter-final. Then it becomes an open draw, so they can draw each other now. Who do you think can win it?
Well, I think Tony summed that when he's not called Sir Alex Ferguson for no reason at all. He just knows how to play the game. I think his mind games with all the other managers, and he's just got it. And as you can see, they were faltering a bit at the beginning of the season in the league, and now they're favourites to win. And he's so canny. He knows how to play the English game, he knows how to play the cup games, and he knows how to play the foreign game, being the Champions League. So, in a funny way, it would be nice to be around or alive when a bit of history is made, when a team does win 4. I remember the treble back in '99. If they could do it again, I mean, it would be amazing to be alive and around in the world when something like that would happen.
Would you write the chances off of Liverpool, considering what Benitez has done for that club in Europe? Never mind the Premier League, just look at his European record, 2 finals in 4 years.
No, I wouldn't write them off, wouldn't write Chelsea off either, wouldn't write Arsenal off either, Leon. I mean, all got great chances, but you'd have to say, if they came up against Man United along the way, you would fancy Man United over 2 legs, or even in a final, as they did against Chelsea last season. So that's why I would go with United. When United went out, for instance, they went as far out as 4-1 for the Premier League at one stage. I was telling everyone to get on. Stupid me didn't get on, but I knew they had all the big teams to play in the second half of the season. That's how it's turned out. And I tell you what, he's just said it, Sir Alex, and I don't know what's after a knighthood. You'll get one of them as well.
I don't know, God knows, but he deserves all the plaudits he gets, because he's got it. He's got it.
So it's Man United, and both of you going for the same double this weekend, Bolton and Blackburn.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, lads.
Nice one.
Cheers, Leon.